Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Evelyn Shorty, and yes, I'm back. And people who just watch these videos are thinking, yes, you're back. You did one yesterday. But for people who shop with me, I did one today and I went home because I was feeling so ill, and I spent the entire day covered in cats and sneezing. But apart from being a little bit sniffly, a bit bunged up, I'm feeling 97% better. So I'm back to review Corset from Scout Comics. I mentioned this one in my new comic book day video because I really like that cover. But then it seemed very, very glossy inside. And that initial impression has not left me, I'm afraid, because it's an entertaining enough story with some nice little twists in there, and it does look great at times. But when given opportunities to be subtle or to be bold or to be intricate or to be threatening, it invariably goes with bold. And it's not a bad thing. Sometimes, I suppose, like the idea of consistency, really, I don't suppose it's a bad thing. But when you're telling a story, I think then you need to accept that you can't just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and over again. I've mentioned a movie before which I really quite liked, which is Annabelle Comes Home, which manages to actually play into the rises and falls of tension and terror really quite effectively. So you're constantly waiting for the next scare, but it kind of messes around with the timing on it, and it's an effective thing. This comic book doesn't even come close to doing that, and it's frustrating because it has moments where I think it could do great things. Like the story is quite interesting. You're playing around with a kind of neo-Victorian-esque high society, and you've got characters who are terrible to their worse offs. You've got classism coming in, no real racism because everyone's white. It's Austria in the, I'm guessing, 19th century. But it's still, there's things there that could work. You've got fashion designing, and you've got, I say, neo-Victorian-esque kind of things going on. You've got rather wonderful art at times. The thing it does really well with art is dresses. And the intricacies of design on that, but it still lacks a certain fine detail. It makes me wish for the art I've seen in Lady Mechanica, if anything else, but that's not to take away with it doing some things really well. I'm going to show you. This is quite fabulous design work, so I'll try and get you into better shots of these. Really, really good, but then it loses all subtlety when it's got one of the fashion critics who turns up looking all effete and white with the white face and the white hair and the white clothes, and it's just like, oh, well, this guy's going to be a villain. And unsurprisingly, while not being explicitly villainous in his actions, clearly not a good person. And that level of lack of subtlety kind of runs throughout it. There is dialogue where I think there's an attempt to show that people can think different things rather than just go along with the crowd, even though sometimes that's more of being a contrarian rather than having your own opinion, so still technically going along with the crowd. And it's all done in the space of 4 or 5 speech bubbles, and it doesn't really add anything to the story. It just feels like it's a kind of lazy way of doing things. And that laziness kind of runs throughout as well. It manages to, at times, just basically coagulate ideas down to very short, abrupt phrasing, which feels unnecessary and takes away the chance to actually get under the skin of what a character is saying and thinking, what the motivations might be. And other times, it's far too wordy for stuff which doesn't require it, for something which could just be an offhand comment, a throwaway piece of exposition. The verbosity suddenly becomes all-encompassing and unnecessary. Again, when it comes to the artwork, there's some rather wonderful moments where they have camera flashes going off, which look like there's a really nice idea and quite well designed to show what they are. But you never see the actual effect of the camera lighting on the characters in frame. It feels like it's just a totally separate thing that they've gone, we know how to do this, we're going to do this, look how clever this is. But without the extra work put into showing what that actually will look like on the people. There's times when they use quite excellent color palettes to like the difference between being outside with starlight and moonlight and gaslight to inside, where it's all much more vibrant and artificially lit. But it's so over the top that you lose the kind of subtlety of the fact that people are wearing clothes of certain colors. And when there's so much effort being put into how things look in terms of how well dresses are designed, taking away that choice of colors, again, just feels like it's, hey, look at this, we're really cool using color palettes to show stuff, but also lacking the subtlety to actually modify that for characters as they move between the instances where the palette changes. All in all, I think there's excellent ideas here, badly represented, and unfortunately, it doesn't get a recommendation from me. But can't have everything. I'm going to come back tomorrow with another review. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.